The finale centers on escalation. What starts as a rescue mission turns into something bigger, a shift in how Gunwoo and Woo Jin fight, survive, and define themselves moving forward. Because by the end of this finale, one thing is clear. This isn't the end of the fight, it's the moment they stop holding back. On the surface, the climax of Bloodhounds Season 2, Episode 7 is straightforward. Gunwoo defeats Im-bum, then takes down Baekjeon. Woo Jin's mother is rescued. It feels like a clean victory, but it's not, because the real turning point isn't who wins, it's how Gunwoo wins. For the first time, he abandons his old principles. He uses metal wraps, he fights more brutally, he targets injuries without hesitation. Gunwoo crosses a line, not because he wants to, but because he realizes you can't beat monsters by playing fair. Baekjeon isn't just another villain. His entire backstory explains why he's so dangerous. He grew up in violence, learned to read people to survive, became a strategist, not just a fighter. That's why the training with Chun-ho matters. Gunwoo doesn't overpower him, he outgrows him. He adapts, he learns to read patterns, he uses strategy instead of pure strength. And in the end, Baekjeon loses not because he is weaker, but because Gunwoo finally learns to think like him. While the fight happens in the ring, something equally important unfolds outside it. Do-yeon cuts through enemies like a weapon. Woo-jeon rescues the hostage with precision. Everyone operates in morally gray territory. This is intentional. The show is drawing a contrast. There is no clean way to survive in this world anymore. Even the heroes torture for information, use illegal networks, rely on violence to fix violence. By the end, the line between protector and predator is thinner than ever. The reunion between Gunwoo and his mother is the emotional payoff. After everything, the guilt, the fear, the desperation, he finally breaks down, and her response is important. She doesn't blame him. Because the show isn't saying he failed, it's saying he's been carrying responsibility that was never his alone. Even though Baekjeon is defeated, the system doesn't suddenly work. Earlier in the episode, police protection is denied, families are left vulnerable, bureaucracy blocks action. And in the end, Baekjeon doesn't even stay in custody. He's abducted, which proves the show's biggest point. Justice doesn't come from institutions, it comes from whoever has power. The finale's biggest reveal is the epilogue. We're led to believe Baekjeon is dead, but the truth is he's alive, being used for information, now part of a bigger criminal network. This completely changes the stakes, because now he's no longer just an enemy, he's a resource in a larger war. The world is bigger than we thought. The mention of a drug operation between Thailand and Korea isn't random, it's set up. It tells us Baekjeon was just one piece, there are larger organizations at play, the violence is going international. So even though this arc closes, the real conflict is just beginning. The finale of Bloodhounds Season 2, Episode 7 isn't about victory, it's about transformation. By the end, Gunwoo is no longer the same fighter, Woo Jin is no longer hesitant, their world is no longer small. They don't just survive the fight, they evolve because of it. The final message is clear, strength isn't just about power, it's about adaptation, but the more you adapt to survive in a violent world, the more you risk becoming part of it. Gunwoo and Woo Jin walk away stronger, but also closer to the very thing they've been fighting, and with bigger enemies on the horizon, one question lingers: how far are they willing to go next time?